Good evening everyone, welcome to JAIIB CAIIB English Medium channel. I hope you all are doing well. So I'm your mentor Amanjyot for your PPB and IIFS subject. So today we are having another session of Principles and Practices of Banking Target Series. As you can see, this is a class number 2 because we are going to talk about unit number 2 of module A that talks about AML-KYC guidelines. Okay, so if any one of you is new on the channel JAIIB CAIIB English Medium, or if you are watching first time the target series session, I would love to inform you all that we have started November 2025 target series, in which we are discussing every day one particular unit of your subject. So alternative, you will find MWF and TTS. MWF and TTS, you will find all the 4 subjects will be available alternate to you 6 to 7 and 7 to 8 p.m. And PPB we have already started, and today we are having a second class of the same. If you haven't watched the first one, go to the channel, you will find the recorded session available there. So AML-KYC guidelines unit is very big. Out of that, what we are focusing today, to your money laundering and financing of terrorism risk. Okay, this is what we're talking about. So when we talk about money laundering, what actually the money laundering is? Right, what actually the money laundering is? Money laundering is simply conversion of black money into white money. Whenever a person is earning a money from a criminal activity like drug trafficking, corruption or something else, whenever they are earning a money from the illegal activity which they cannot show in the government taxation earning sources, which they cannot openly talk about it because that's an illegal source of earning, converting that money into legal money, that's what the money laundering is. Okay, so money laundering is simply conversion of black money into white money. And financing of terrorism simply means that certain terrorist organizations and the people belongs to them, they actually using the banking channel, the financial system channel to raise the money, to store the money and to transfer the money. So people are using banking channel for the wrong purposes, right, or for the criminal activities like the money laundering and financing of terrorism. RBI, not only RBI but every central bank of a country, every country, and the Financial Action Task Force, the IMF, a lot of international organizations, they all are trying to make sure that no one will be able to use the financial system of a country, the banking system of a country for such kind of criminal activities. And that's where the AML-KYC guidelines comes. Okay, which actually help us to stop such kind of people to use the banking channels in the criminal activities, right? So let's start with the first point, that money laundering is what? It is the process whereby the origin of funds generated from the criminal activities, that can be drug trafficking, gun smuggling, corruption. Okay, so when we are talking about money laundering, it's what? It's a process which origin of funds generated from what? From the criminal activities. Hana, that can be any one of them. So it is concealed and these funds are infused in the financial system, appearing as if these originated from the legitimate source. So the people have earned the money from the illegal activity, but they are entering that black money into the legal financial system to show that they have actually earned that money from the legitimate sources, from the real earning sources. Okay, like nothing is wrong with the way they have earned the money. That's what we call as a money laundering. Okay, that's what we call as a money laundering. Now, next we have, often such funds are deployed in the legal activities or legitimate assets. We are doing what? The people who perform money laundering or the people who have actually get earning from the criminal activities, they start deploying that money in the legal activities, or we can say the legitimate assets. Now, the corruption, tax evasion, Ponzi scheme and other financial crimes, cyber crimes are closely connected with what? With the money laundering. Okay, they all are closely connected to what? They all are closely connected to the money laundering. So you know the corruption, you know the tax evasion. What is a Ponzi scheme? The scheme that is not true. The scheme that is actually attracting people for the better returns, but that actually done fraud with the people. So you can see funds from these crimes now form a substantial portion of money laundering. Hana, like a lot of people who are performing money laundering, who are converting their black money into white money, they are earning that money from the corruption, from tax evasion, from the Ponzi schemes. Okay, the cyber crimes. So financial crimes, now they constitute a significant part of your criminal activities. Okay, they all criminal activities are involved in the financial crimes now. Also, the third component of triad today is a terrorist financing. So we have money laundering, we have financial crimes, we have terrorist financing. These three are the ways by which we can say people are using to hide their criminal activities. They are using the banking channels. Okay, so with the growth of several terrorist organizations in the world, the big or small, the terrorist facing financing has assumed large proportion. So terrorist financing has deployed linkages with money laundering as for both purposes, that is similar modalities are used. So we are simply saying that the people are using the people with the terrorist organization, they are using the banking channel to perform their financing purposes of terrorist activity. So the money laundering, terrorist financing and financial crimes, they all are interconnected now, because they all are using the banking channel, the financial channel to perform their activities. And you can see another aspect is that the certain criminals have organized into what? The organized crime groups. Right? They have what? They have organized crime groups. They have a professional money laundering like Hawala. I guess everybody of you have heard about Hawala. They perform the money laundering activity in a very right manner so that nobody can easily find out that this is the money which have been earned from the criminal activity, from an illegitimate activity. Okay. So this is what we are talking about, that the money laundering, terrorism financing and financial crimes, they all are interconnected now. Apart from this, RBI is doing focus on money laundering, terrorism financing and financial crimes activity. Apart from RBI, we have seen FATF is also there. The task that RBI is performing for Indian economy, the similar thing will be seen performed by FATF for the global economy. So FATF is what? It is the global organization set up for evolving measures to be taken by the financial sector businesses and certain non-financial businesses and the professions for prevention of money laundering. So FATF issued certain recommendations that serve as an anti-money laundering. Okay, then combating of financing of terrorism. They are known as what? FATF Standard 2012. Okay, so what we are saying, that way RBI is trying to stop money laundering, terrorism financing in India from their banking channels. Similarly, FATF is doing the same. FATF Financial Action Task Force is also trying to make sure that we won't be facing money laundering, terrorism financing kind of activity at the global level. So it is providing us anti-money laundering, combating financing of terrorism activity. That's a standard that FATF provided. So money laundering and terrorism financing are what? They are considered as a criminal activities across the world. So it's not like only India is facing such kind of issue. All the countries are facing this money laundering, terrorism financing issue, in which people are using their financial system to fulfill their requirement of criminal activities. So you can see when we talk about FATF's roles, it actually focus on terrorism financing and stopping the terrorism financing. So funding terrorist activities globally. To stop that, FATF is working. It's trying to do what? It is trying to combat the financial crimes, which one covers the financial terrorism financing. Okay, so FATF is a core organization which is combating the financial crimes at the international level. Global implications are there. International impact of financial crimes will be taken care by the FATF. FATF provides us the standards also regularly. So the FATF AML-CFT standard given in 2012. Then money laundering, that's a criminal activity undermining the financial system of the every country. So FATF is trying to combat the financial crimes that involves money laundering, that is involves terrorism financing also. Okay, so this is what the Financial Action Task Force is doing. Next we have money laundering stages. We have 3 stages of money laundering that covers placement, layering and integration. So placement is the stage in which first we enter. We means the people who are performing money laundering, they actually use the placement stage to enter their illegal money to the legal financial system. So while you are reading these statements, I will let you know what is the placement, layering and integration. So when I talk about the placement, what is placement? Placement is simply means where the people who are trying to perform the money laundering, they enter their fund in the legal financial system by using the banking channels. So they actually deposit their illegal money in the banks or in the different bank accounts in the different banks, and that's how the illegal money will be entered in the legal financial system with the help of placement stage. As you can see, in this stage, the funds from criminal activities are introduced into the financial system. Okay, and this is done through deposits in multiple bank accounts. That's a placement, entering money into the legal financial system. Second, layering. Layering helps to hide such money that have been entered with the banking channel by performing, I can say, the complex network of transaction. So in the layering stage, they by knowingly create a complex network of transactions so that it won't be easy to find out that from where the funds actually came. That's what the layering means. So you can see, next, those funds are passed through the numerous financial transactions in these accounts, creating several layers of funds transfer, and these helps in what? In hiding the source of these funds. Then we have integration, the third stage. So we are doing what? In layering, we are creating a complex network of transaction, like we are creating a layer so that it won't be easily find out from where the actual money came from. Third, we have integration. The next step is collecting the funds lying in multiple accounts in one or few accounts that are then deployed for investing in some legal business activity or for having some assets. So now in the integration stage, what will happen? The people who have created a complex network of transaction, they will be getting their money out of the transaction, those multiple transaction, and try to create their own personal assets. Such assets which will help them out to show that this is a legal money. Like they can buy a luxurious house, they can buy a luxurious car or anything else, they can start their own business. And if somebody asks from where you have got this money, they can simply say, I earned that money from the share market, from the bank deposit interest, from the multiple transaction or whatever transaction they have created as a layering. Okay, so they will be talking about that as a legal source of funding for them. That's the integration. Next, we have some stages of money laundering. As you can see, the first is placement, introducing illicit funds into the financial system. Second stage, we have layering, that talks about concealing the source through complex transaction. And the third, we have integration, integrating the laundered money into legitimate economy. So these are the 3 stages that we talk about as stages of money laundering. Okay, now apart from that, next we have here prevention of money laundering. So the main objective of measures for prevention of money laundering are what? The first one is to prevent the criminal elements from using the financial system. For what? For laundering activities. Hana, we are trying to say that we want to prevent the criminal elements from using the financial system for the laundering services. Then we want to prevent the spread of criminal activity in the society. We do not want that everybody will do that. So we want to stop the spread. Third, we safeguard the economy from financial crimes. Okay, and fourth, we want to prevent the terrorists from gaining access to financial resources. Okay, that's what the objective of preventing the money laundering. Now we are financing of terrorism. So there are numerous terrorist organizations in the world. They are using the financial system of our country for their benefit of raising the fund, of storing the fund, and for transferring the fund. So we have 4 stages in financing of terrorism. The first we have is raising. Raising is simply the sympathizers of such kind of terrorist organizations, the sympathizers of their actually focusing on raising the fund, like the terrorist organization actually focusing on raising the fund from their sympathizers, those people who have sympathy with them. Okay, so they try to raise money from such kind of sympathizers, and that can be in any part of the world. Okay, so that's why the raising stage is there, from where they raise the money. So they source fund from their sympathizers. That can be individual person or an organization, and they can be anywhere. Okay, the second stage is moving. Moving is simply you have raised, the terrorist organizations have raised money from different parts of the world. So now they will be moving that money to the one part of the world, and one city or one state or one country we can talk about, in which they are actually established. Okay, so that's a moving the fund. Third stage we have is storing. After moving, third stage we have is a storing. So after moving fund from multiple parts or from the various parts of the world, we have the terrorist organization have actually transferred their fund into one location, and that one location, now at their location they will be storing that fund, and for the storing purpose, for moving purpose, and for raising purpose, they all are using banking channels. Okay, and the last stage is using it. So whenever they will be performing their terrorist activities, they will withdraw the money from the bank account, from the any financial system they have entered the money in, and then they will be performing the using activity. Then they will use the funds. Okay, so you can see now we have a financial operation of terrorist organization. That is, as you can see, first is raising funds, initial acquisition of fund. Second, we have moving funds, that transferring funds across the network. Third, we have storing funds, securely holding funds for future use. And fourth, we have using the funds. That is final utilization of funds for their operation. That's how they are doing the financing of terrorism. So there are measures to mitigate the money laundering risk that we can say in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. A lot of measures have been given by Government of India. RBI also keep giving us such kind of things. So first is to know or understand the customer and their financial dealings better. First we have to do what? So banks are required to take the appropriate measures while they are creating any contractual relationship with any person. So first they have to know and understand the customer and what are their financial dealings. Okay, then the bank should detect and report if they found any suspicious transaction about that any customer of their, and they should inform that to the FIUIND, that's a Financial Intelligence Unit. Okay, so they should detect and they should report such kind of activities. Then they should compile with the applicable laws and regulatory guidelines. Right, what they have to do, they have to compile with the applicable laws and regulatory guidelines that have been given by RBI, that have been given by FATF or the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So they have actually also have adequately trained the staff about the KYC and AML procedure, and that's why the KYC AML certification course is very much in demand, and that's why every bank perform the AML KYC training programs also, for their employees. So this is how the money laundering risk can be mitigated. Okay. Now there are some practice questions. The first is talking about here. Okay, answer is also visible, sorry. Objective of KYC is to ensure appropriate customer identification, to monitor transaction of suspicious nature, to ensure that the customer would not deceive the bank. Fourth, to ensure if loan is given, it would not become an NPA. And the fifth is A and B both. So definitely we want to ensure that the customer identification will be done properly with the KYC, because as it says, know your customer. Then monitoring the transaction of suspicious nature. If any transaction looks like suspicious, we should monitor it. Then ensure that the customer would not deceive the bank. And the fourth one is to ensure if loan is given, it would not become a NPA. So right answer is definitely A and B. These are not the objective of having a KYC. So right answer is E option, that A and B is correct. Okay, next question we have. Okay, which of the following is not the stage of financing of terrorism? First we have raising, second we have moving, third we have storing, and fourth we have allocating. So financing of terrorism have 4 stages. Raising is there, moving is there, storing is there, but allocating is not. So right answer will be your D option. Okay, next question we have. Okay, next question we have here that says, consider the following statement regarding the objective of measures for prevention of money laundering. Which of the following statement are incorrect here? So you have to answer this. Hana, read these statements and let me know the answer of this question. Read these statements and let me know the answer of this question. So I guess now the answer is not visible, right? So let me know. Read it once, a statement based question is there, and answer the question. So there are 4 statements have been given. Hana, we have a 4 statements here. Which statement is correct? Okay. So first is saying here that to prevent criminal elements from using the financial system for money laundering activities, that's true. Second is saying spread of criminal activities in society. No, we do not want to spread the criminal activities. We want to prevent it. So second is wrong. Hana, first is right, second is wrong. To safeguard the economy from financial crime, that's correct. To prevent terrorists from gaining the access to the financial system, that's also true. So right answer is D. Okay, right answer will be your D option, that first, third and fourth is correct. So right answer we have is a D option. Okay, next. So you can see the answer is D. Okay, so this is how we have to practice our questions now. Also, do remember we have started our target series. We have also started our paid classes, and the first paid batch we have started is success batch. This is the batch started from 31st of May, and today 7 to 8 p.m. we have a orientation class, foundation class of this batch. Hana, so in the success batch you will find that as well. Clear? Chalo, done. So to enroll in any one of these batches, what you can do, you can simply use a code that is Y496 to get the maximum discount. That will be 80% discount. And to enroll, download the 24/7 application, because on the application you will get 1% additional discount. Okay, so that's all for today. Let's end the session here. We'll see you all in the next class, in the next session. Till then, take care everyone. Okay.